Hello, everybody. This is your host, Michael, and welcome to another episode of Questions That Matter podcast. And today, I am joined by my brother here, Aldrin, and I would like him to introduce himself. But before he introduces himself, I just want to invite you guys to this journey of questions that matter, whereby we are going to be having a series of questions with different people from different walks of life. And as you can tell, today I'm in a different environment and it's giving a different vibe, a different color altogether. And that's what I want to bring to the world. I want to bring to you all, my viewers out there, everybody following the podcast. I want you to benefit from having that platform whereby you can have different people from different sectors coming together and getting different perspectives so that you get a different understanding of life. So without further ado, I would like Mr. Aldrin to introduce himself, to tell us who is Aldrin, who is he. Mr. Aldrin, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Michael. Like you said, my name is Aldrin, and who I am is a very, very long story. 25 years worth of, story. But yes, my name is Aldrin Guja. I am a Zimbabwean, born and raised in Botswana for most part of my life. And I am here in India as a graduating student in the Faculty of Design. That's just a brief, intro. We'll get more deeper as we go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, guys, you have heard for yourself. This guy, my brother here, or rather, I should say, this gentleman, it really is a mixture of different colors. For the time that I've known him, wow, you have quite a lot to anticipate. So as you say that he's from Zimbabwe, but was raised in Botswana and studying in India. So you're gonna get a taste of Zimbabwe, a taste of Botswana, a taste of India. Wow, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. So, Mr. Aldrin, the first question that I would have for you, since you are a graduating student and in the design faculty, my question is, what made you choose design? What made you choose to follow the path that you have chosen, like in your career wise? What drives you? What was the influence behind that? I want to study in India, all the way from Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe. What made you make that decision that I want to come to India and I want to do design?
Okay, first of all, thank you for the question. I have to be very honest and say that there was nothing that felt supernatural or that felt very exciting about me coming to India. The opportunity presented itself, and here I am. In terms of studying design, I would say that design has always been a part of how I think. I remember when I was a child, I would watch maybe a cartoon and I would like a certain character. And in my head, I imagined that character as my friend. So what I would do is I would go outside, I would look for cardboard boxes, I would sketch out the outline of the character, and then I would cut it out, I would paint it up, and it would become this real life size thing. And then I would have, like, in my head, I would have conversation with this new friend of mine, right? And upon my learning of what design is, I've come to realize that design is in our everyday experience. The mic I'm holding, the chairs we're sitting on, these were all thought of, maybe not manufactured, but they were thought of by a designer who was empathetic enough to put themselves in other people's shoes and look for problems that people are facing and provide a solution. So that's what I do. Have that spirit of empathy to look into other people's lives, the problems, on a physical level, mostly for design, even mentally or psychologically, yes. But look for problems for other people, solve them in an aesthetic way, in a pleasing way to look at, and then yeah, that's how it is. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Um, Powerful words, I would say. But in the environment that I am, I can say artistic words. I don't know. Yeah. Wow. Design is his life. You've heard for yourself, and one of the things that personally I have learned is we are a part. We are a makeup of different ingredients that have been injected into us over a period of time. What do I mean by that? As you were saying, when you grew up, you were of course exposed to different environments, cartoons, movies, and all of that, and they started to paint your imagination, right? It was guiding you, and then of course you then took an initiative to take what you have received, and then you started to grow wings and fly, right? Started to imagine and create your own thing out of what you have been given. In a way, that would be like taking raw materials, right? And then you're making a design. For example, this painting that we're having here, it's a mixture of different colors, right? Different colors, and not only different colors, different ideas altogether being captured to make one image, right? And um, I believe that us, we are also part of an artwork, right? Because everybody is different, and everybody has a part of them that has been contributed by society in order to make them who they are now, right? And then they also now take the raw materials they have been given and start to innovate, start to think. And in the process of thinking, they start to ask questions, right? And when they ask questions, they start to create a pathway that they can follow. And having said that, from that mind, from that understanding, which are the questions that you found yourself asking when you were growing up, when you were choosing the path that you were choosing that led you to be where you are right now, to be a graduate in the design sector? What were the questions that you were asking yourself? What those questions that started to bring out that passion of wanting to seek more? So, which questions did you ask yourself that guided you to be here? Of course, there were limitations that they were there, right? I believe in everybody's life there are some challenges and all of that, but we grow beyond those challenges and we start to ask questions and be like, what if I can do this? What if I can do this? What if I can do this? How can I do this? And all of that. So we would want to hear what are the questions that you asked?
Okay. Well, I think the first most important question that I used to ask myself is, who am I? I'm Tawanda. You introduced me as Aldrin, yes. I also introduced myself as Aldrin, but my first name, my mother is my Tawanda, my father is Baba Tawanda, that's Shona. Yes, so I am Tawanda. So I would ask, who is Tawanda? Second of all, I would ask what is out there, because you have to understand that, like many of us, I grew up in a very small part of the world. Some grew up in Zimbabwe and have never left Zimbabwe. Some grew up in Botswana, have never left Botswana. So they're very, confined. And I always, because of my imagination, I always imagined how big the world was. What was out there. I remember there was a time in school I would, tell my friends that, you know what, me, I'm gonna go to. First, before I say that, I remember having a conversation with my mother. I was in grade 5 or grade 4. Then I was like, you know what, me, I want to travel the world. And I remember my mother told me, if it's something that you desire and if it's something that you want, you can do it. Even though the financial needs didn't seem like they could, make that dream possible, she told me that I could. Anything was possible. That's the first scenario. Second scenario, in school, I would always tell my friends, you know what, I'm gonna go to Canada. I used to say Canada because I have a cousin who's in Canada. And I would say, I wanna go to Canada. I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm gonna go to Canada. So it has always been that itching thing inside me. What else is out there in the world? What street can I walk in Brazil that I haven't walked before? What person can I meet in Argentina, in Trinidad and Tobago who I haven't met before, who can change my life? Or that just that have that relationship as people. There's so many people to meet, there's so many experiences to have. So yeah, those are the questions that I normally ask. What is out there? Who is out there? You know? Yeah.
Wow, wow. What else is out there? What else is out there? I think that's actually a very, very good question. Why? Because I believe it kind of allows you to grow beyond your confinements, right? It allows you to grow beyond the limitations of the environment that you've been placed in. Because as I was saying, like, we are a makeup of different ingredients that have been put together, and then we start from there. I personally believe that nobody starts from zero. No one. No one starts from zero. And since nobody starts from zero, they've been given a stepping stone. They've been given a path, you know. But then the things that they have been presented with, the things that have been given, will kind of, in a way, guide their imagination, their path, right? But then when you have a question such as the one that you asked yourself, I believe that that question will actually enable you to find other pathways, right? Other paths you start to discover actually that there are more ways to kill a cat. There's so many ways, right? And um, the last question that I have for you is, of all the questions that you ask yourself, I believe that those questions have been helpful and they've actually been a guide to you being in the place that you are right now. What are the questions that you did not ask? What are the questions that you believe that if you had asked before, they would have actually helped you to become better, to become someone that you can be like, okay, this is a version of me that I believe I could have been if I had asked these questions, if I had taken this pathway. So, which questions are those that you believe that maybe you could have asked?
That's a very good question. Um, one of the most important questions I do ask myself now that I've been very ignorant to or haven't really been conscious about is what can I do today to make my tomorrow better, right? Because if you read the book Atomic Habits, it clearly states that, I'll give an example. The example is in the book. If you haven't read the book, go read the book Atomic Habits. It states in the book that when a sculptor is making a statue, the traditional way where you chip the stone bit by bit, right? It's these small series of actions that are done repeatedly over time. You don't just get there and then you're starting to, it's small chips bit by bit. And then after a course of, depending on the sculptor, after a course of maybe 10 days or a month, the sculpture starts to come out. But it's because of this series of small chips bit by bit, consistently over time. And that's how, a lot of you know this, but that's how we should approach our life. What small things can I do today? Because those things add up bit by bit by bit. And I really love your podcast about even the name, questions that matter. One thing about artists, I believe everyone is an artist, but somewhere along the way in our childhood, most people forget that they're artists because they stop being curious. Artists are people who are curious, right? It's the foundation is curiosity. You look at a tree, you ask yourself, what is that tree? Or you ask yourself, how can I paint that tree? Or how can I mix oil paint and acrylic paint? Or how can I mix graphite and chalk to create something? And then you go ahead to try to answer those questions. And through that discovery, that's where great pieces of art are born. You get what I mean? So I feel like if I had been conscious of what can I do today to make my better tomorrow, a very small thing, Jordan Peterson says, if your life is a mess, first thing you should just do before you do anything, wake up, fix your bed. It's the smallest thing that you can do at that moment. But then if you do these small things incrementally, the trajectory of your life just goes up. Last example, when a plane is taking off, there's that no return area whereby it's moving so quickly. That's how our lives are. When you do something consistently, you move so quickly that you can't stop anymore. The only way to go is what? Is up. So we have to prepare ourselves during that takeoff period, that moving. And then once that preparation is done, the takeoff is inevitable. Yes, so thank you. That's it.
Wow. What a way to live a life. Wow. You have heard it for yourself, guys. I'm an artist. I'm an artist, and all of you out there are artists. And he said one important statement. I love that. I'm taking it. Curiosity. As you said, when we were growing up, we were curious. Our minds had questions, a lot of questions. We wanted to understand and to know a lot of things. And because of that, we started getting a lot of answers. And then when we started getting a lot of answers, we started getting a bigger picture, that imagination, And wow. Then if you add that with a little bit of what else is out there, wow, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I really, wow. And the other takeaway from what you said is, it's a series of steps. It's a series of a small things that we are doing that actually make a better tomorrow. Today, what can I do today to make tomorrow better? And that question alone itself, I believe it's the beginning of other questions which will guide you. And that question is the question which matters. What can I do today? And once you ask that question, you discover that you get an answer. And when you get an answer, you then ask another question. What else is out there? And then you start to discover that your life is on a trajectory, as you were saying, that as a plane is ascending, it reaches that point of whereby there's no going back. It's only higher and higher and higher and higher. Wow, so beautiful, so beautiful. Mr. Aldrin, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for taking your time. I know you're a busy guy. You have got a lot of clients to attend to, a lot of paintings, a lot of artwork to do. And one other thing, I'm going to leave his his social media link so that you can follow him on Instagram. He's also on Instagram. He has a lot of designs, and I've watched one of the things I love about Mr. Aldrin is that he loves to make people's lives better. And I think that's one of the statements that he said when we were just starting. He said, what can I do to make people's life better? What can I do? And he has been doing that. If you follow his Instagram page, you discover that there are a lot of people that he does drawings for, and then he brings the drawings to them as a surprise. It's so beautiful to see that laughter, that smile on people's faces. And I love the work you do, sir. I really love it. He's a brother to me, and I appreciate his mind. And I believe that I have taken something and you have taken something. You're going to learn and you're going to apply it as well. Um, Questions that matter. Thank you so much, Mr. Aldrin. Do you have any words that you would like to say to somebody out there who is dreaming of doing something in their life, or that are at the beginning stage of their life, or maybe somebody who's doing something already? And what words do you have for people that are watching the people that are following the podcast? What words do you have for them?
Okay, first thing I can say is the theme of this conversation. The only limitations you set are in your mind. You set limitations in your mind first before they manifest in the physical. So always be aware of that. And second thing is very basic. Read your Bible and pray every day. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. He not only reads books that help in personal development and growth, like Atomic Habits, he also reads the Bible. And it's a reminder to all the Christian viewers out there, read your Bible. And I believe, like any other book, even if you're not a Christian, you can also read the Bible. It's also a book. Read it, read books. You have a lot of books that you read. You actually begin to open your mind, and the way you think, it even changes because you now have a bigger understanding of things, right? Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next episode of Questions That Matter. Don't miss it. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. All right.